Welcome to 230 Dudes. I'm Antonio.
And I'm Charles.
And we finally did it.
We did it.
A reoccurring theme and topic that always comes up in our shows.
Yeah. After a lot of talk and a lot of, hullabaloo about it, we made a pirate episode.
A pirate episode.
We made a pirate episode.
It's pretty good.
It is. It's kind of just like a cursory knowledge of pirates, but it was a lot of fun to do the research on, and I think you'll learn a lot from it. And we talk about some of the most famous pirates.
Yeah, and some that I've never even heard of that should have their own television shows.
Seriously.
So what we're going to do for this video is talk about something we didn't touch on in the pirate episode, which is the pirate flag, the infamous skull and crossbones.
Crossbones. This is a cross sword, but we'll ignore that.
Yeah.
We couldn't find the image we were looking for.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against us.
You know what we're talking about, all right?
The skull and crossbones, like what is generally thought of like the cliche of a pirate flag.
Yes.
And so we did a little digging on where that symbol came from, and it came, well, for starters, way before pirates.
Way before pirates. It was what, the 15th century?
I think it was even earlier than that. I think it was like
that?
the 13th century.
France,
during
of course. The dancemacabre, which isn't a
Something
French
like that.
name, right?
It doesn't
Macabre,
sound.
It sounds like Italian or Spanish.
Yeah,
right?
but
Or
it's probably because of the way we're saying it.
Oh, okay.
Like an ongoing theme with our show is that we don't know how to say things with the French accent. Dancemacabre.
Right.
Something like that.
Which is basically the dance of death.
Right, exactly. The dance of death.
And it was a whole genre of medieval art that was talking about the essence of death and its necessity in life.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily something to fear or celebrate. It was just something that was an essential component of life.
Yes.
And you would see paintings with skulls and crossbones and dead skeletons walking around amongst other people and all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then somewhere around the 15th century, it started kind of evolving in its meaning. And as we talk about on the podcast tonight, the 18th century is what they call the golden age of piracy.
Yes.
And that's where the symbol kind of boomed in terms of an association with pirates. But what's interesting is it's not exactly the skull and crossbones.
No, and they attribute it to the Barbary pirates. Mm-hmm. But really, the only records that there are of different designs on flags for pirates were the Muslim corsairs had a skull, but it was a green flag.
Right.
And then there were a few captains who put up black flags with symbols of death or skeletons. There's a lot of different variations, but there's really no representation of a skull and crossbone for pirates.
Specifically.
No.
Yeah, no, it didn't
Not
really
at all.
happen. What's interesting is when the skull and crossbones really became a symbol was in the year 1850?
1829.
1829.
New York State.
New York State. The state of New York made it mandatory for poison.
Yes.
Well,
you got to put something on the bottles.
Yeah, chemicals that are bad for you.
Yes.
Not like poison, like buy this to give to your spouse. But chemicals that will F you up.
Yes.
They made it mandatory to have a skull and crossbones on it. And basically since that time,
that's kind of where the media took hold of it and ran with it, and then it just kind of became a pirate thing, and
just kind of evolved from there. But really, it's the dance thing, dancemacabre thing from back in the day, and then the poison thing.
Yeah,
and the pirates just kind of got wedged in there somehow.
Because someone had a green flag with a skull, and someone else had a black flag with a skeleton, and
yeah, it just kind of came together. Now it sure reminds you of pirates, right?
Yeah.
Like especially this one with these swords. I mean, it looks like a pirate, but
that reminds me of the Cavaliers more than anything.
Yeah, well, that's you.
Yeah.
So there you have it, the history of the skull and crossbones.
And you can check out our podcast tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, all about pirates on 230dudes.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning that we are now, as of today, on Snapchat.
Snapchat.
We're going with the times here.
We're trying. We're figuring out. We just found out we have filters on the damn
We got
thing.
filters. We used them. We did a face swap. If you want to check out our story, very soon, I guess. Actually, by the time you watch this, you won't even be able to see the face swap. Maybe we'll do one again for you someday. And so we're on Snapchat as TWO30Dudes.
Yeah, apparently you can't put a number as the first character for Snapchat. It has to be a letter.
Has to be a letter.
So TWO30
Dudes.
Dudes.
That's
Check
right.
us out.
And thanks for watching.